So today we will basically look at this sutta here. You cannot see the sutta, right? Stop share first, I share again. Chikala Sutta, the whole, okay? So we're going to discuss about this very short sutta, but I think it's a very important sutta, okay, to share. Because I want you all to tell me why this sutta is so important. What is the significance? All right. So we will not have any breakout room, and we only have one session. So I would like you all to kind of like how many? There's only 5, isn't it? 5 of you all. So just ngam lah. So one person handle the summary, second person handle the context, third person handle the characteristic for the guidance for practice, and the last one is the significance. Okay. The first one, I think we follow according to the ranking provided by this Zoom. The first person I invite is Sister Tang. Okay. Sister Tang Kwai Sim, is it?
Oh, is it? Yes, I'm Tang Kwai Sim.
Yes. So I invite you to give a summary of this sutta. Number one, have you read the sutta already?
Yes, it's short. It's
Yeah,
about the blind turtle and getting its head caught in the yolk, the hole in the yolk, floating in the waters.
That's all. Is it?
Well, it comes up only once in every 100 years. So it's like once in a million chance that it will get caught because it is blind. So I guess the context is that, we are very fortunate to be able to be a human in the human realm and to come into the Dhamma and the doctrine of expounded by the Tathagata, and that he, I think to us is the Buddha, okay, that was fully enlightened at Tathagata, that all these three are actually within our access now. And I feel that it is that the time that we have now, the urgency to understand, to accept, to appreciate this opportunity and to practice.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So that is basically the summary. Okay. Now I invite Sister Su Chen to kind of like just provide the context of this sutta.
Yeah, the context is the Buddha was speaking to the monks, and he actually used a simile to explain the rareness of the chance of being born as a human, and to be able to meet with a Buddha, and to be able to have hear the Dhamma. So I think this simile is really, give people have a better understanding and appreciation of how slim the chance of that we are able to have access to be a human, to see a Buddha. So this actually let us appreciate how blessed we are to have this opportunity at this lifetime. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sister Su Chen. Okay, context is correct. Okay, so next one, I just kind of like actually both sisters already explained the characteristic, but never mind. Sister Meili, right? The basic characteristic.
The basic characteristic of this sutta, there are 7 characteristics. So the first one will be simile of the sea turtle. This is to convey the message that it's very precious for us to born as a human, and then also it's also very rare opportunity to practice Dhamma in our life. So we need to have this sense of urgency to practice Dhamma and not diligently. And then the rarity of human birth. this sutta emphasizes on the chances of being born as a human is very rare. It is described as the 1,000-year turtle which met with it's maybe a 0.0 something percentage. So we should not waste this opportunity. And then to encounter with Dhamma is also such a rare opportunity. So we need to fully practice our path towards Nibbana. And then this sutta is a reminder to all the Dhamma practice that the preciousness of our life, being born as a human, and to have the fortune to practice into Dhamma and to have to make the best of this into practice. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Sister Meili. Very good characteristics, line by line. So, okay, the two more points. One is called guidance for practice. So I invite Sister Fanny to share what you found in this part, guidance for practice.
I actually read this sutta, I get the gist of it, but if you really ask me to categorize it, right, just now I shared, categorize it into like these 5 things, I find it difficult, but I get the message now. But let's say if you ask me to look for the guidance for practice from this sutta, right, I think is the last paragraph that the Buddha says, therefore your duty is the contemplation on the Four Noble Truths, from what I see from here. So this is the guidance, the direction given by the Buddha from this sutta. I'm not sure whether I put it correctly, but this is what I see. Correct?
Absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Absolutely correct. You got the right point. Okay. So that is the what call this, the practice, the guidance, the message of the practice. Okay. Because the rest is like, they tell the situation, right? And then after that, the rarity of your human life. Okay, now you know already the rarity of human life and the coincidence of your birth, example. Okay, so what you gonna do about it? So that's the point, right? Then later in the discussion of all the teaching for guidance of practice, why the Buddha choose this one? This one we will discuss later. Many practices, right? But the Buddha choose this one. Okay. Okay, the last one, significance. Who hasn't said anything yet?
Brother Kooi, can I try?
Since you are already interested.
Because I had a quick reading of this. The significance of this sutta, I believe, is that, since we have this rare opportunity to be born as a human, we should not waste time because we have the potential of gaining liberation if we were to work on it, if we were to follow the Dhamma or live by the Dhamma, and then there's this potential of liberation and put an end to our suffering. So basically the significance is that, we are now have this opportunity, which is so rare to be a human, make use of it, work diligently, follow the Dhamma, live by the Dhamma, and then, we have this chance of gaining liberation in this lifetime or next or whatever.
Okay, sadhu. Correct. You just read the sutta, can answer already. Excellent. Okay, so congratulations to everyone. So you have actually make correct interpretation. All right. Some of you, I know you have used the Nobu, right? And I think it is a useful tool, I have to admit, right? Otherwise, I think you'll probably use your own interpretation. But after a while, let's say you are very good at sutta learning, right? After a while, you able to see a certain pattern. You don't even need Nobu. You'll be able to identify these 5 characteristics of how to dissect a sutta. Okay, so before we go into the sutta to discuss in depth, what are your findings? I just kind of want to recap. Basically, what we discussed last week. When we say dissect sutta or analyze a sutta, there are only five points that you have to know, right? First, you read the sutta. All right, must read first. Don't go and do anything without reading. Okay. Then after that, after reading, you try to summarize what the suttas want to say. No need to look at the point, just try to summarize it. What is the main point? So for this particular sutta, we're talking about the blind turtle. The rarity of birth, okay, related to a story of a blind turtle. Okay. And then once you have this kind of summary, then you start to ask more questions. Basically, 4 things you want to know more. Okay. One is, what is the context? Why the Buddha teach this sutta? Teach to who? Okay. So in the beginning, you'll see that he was talking to talking to a monk, right? And basically, he's telling a story, okay, of a world covered with water, and this is a story that the Buddha told. He's an interesting storyteller, correct or not? He's not dry or boring. He can actually come up with story. Okay, this is a world like the water world. There was a movie long time ago. Remember or not? Kevin Costner one, that movie. Long time ago. Then the whole world don't have land, all water one. Okay, so they depend on rafts and ships and whatever that can float to survive. Okay, so the Buddha invoked the imagination of such kind of world. So imagine so much water, okay, and you have one turtle coming out to breathe every 100 years. And of all the places, and the waves, the sea is very not stable somehow. It's a lot of waves, right? And there's one little ring floating in this vast ocean. And the turtle come out to breathe once in every 100 years. And of all the places, his head come out and get stuck in that little ring. That kind of coincidence. In terms of randomness, in terms of coincidence, 1 in 1 billion or so, can say like that, right? And it happens. So to equate our human birth, although there's 8 billion of us, right? To think that, wow, we got so many human beings on this world, overpopulation, we say. But every single human birth is already a rare one. That's what the Buddhist teaching says. Why? Because every single human being that is born today have a mind. We have an opportunity to understand, to read, to practice, and to understand. Okay? What kind of life we lead is depend on how we use our mind. That's all. If we never use our mind properly, then that's it, considered wasted. If we use our mind properly, full of potential, we can be so many things, right? Can even be a Buddha, and then get out of these rounds of samsara. So that's what the Buddha is trying to say. You got this opportunity. This opportunity is so rare, but we don't seem to see it. Okay, that's why from context we come to the characteristics. Okay, just now Sister Meili gave a good rundown of the characteristics. All right, point by point, and we don't seem to be able to appreciate this opportunity. We are more concerned with what we see in front of us and how we want to enjoy our life. What we can immediately benefit this body, whether we want to get fame or get money or get recognition. We only want to see what's in it for us in this body and mind currently. So we are trapped in this sort of situation. We cannot see beyond, right? So in a way, it's kind of like unfortunate if we have this kind of mindset. We have opportunity to escape, but we don't want. We want to get stuck. Okay. So it's like some I think one monk used to give a talk. It's like we are caught in a cage, you know. But there's a door. The cage has a door. The door is not locked one. You can always go out if you want. Not locked one. You can open and go out. But we don't want. We love this cage so much. We want to stay inside. We don't go out. Okay. And then because of ignorance, because of fear or whatever, we don't want to go out. We want to stay in the comfort of this cage that we are inside, right? So now, if we find out that there's a life beyond the cage, do we want to try or not? That's a challenge lah. Okay. Then then we come to the point of the guidance for practice, right? Sister Fanny rightly point out, in this particular sutta, the Buddha taught about contemplation on the Four Noble Truths. There is suffering, arising of suffering, the ending of suffering, and the path, all right, leading to the ending of suffering. Okay. So basically what the Buddha said is, once you know the situation you're in, that you have this precious life, then you will embark on a practice to get out of it, to get out of this cage. Okay. And that practice is to realize the Four Noble Truths. Okay, the Four Noble Truths. So that is the guidance of your practice. So today, the remainder of this discussion is to maybe we discuss what it means by practice the Four Noble Truths. How do we practice the Four Noble Truths? You know, is there really a method or not? And of course, the last point is the significance. The significance is, you've been told a story, you've been explained that the story relate to a rare opportunity as a human being. You have a mind, you can think, you can understand things, you can practice, and then you can take action. Okay, all this you can do. Now, once you realize that your life is precious, all right, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit down and just enjoy your life until you die? Or you want to do something that allows you to go beyond what you have? Okay, by realizing the Four Noble Truths. That is the significance of the decision that you have to make. Okay, and then you want to see the result lah. Of course lah, you know, some people say, I do, after that I know all this, still I cannot become Buddha, right? So what can I do? It's not the goal, you know. Sometimes it's not the goal. You want to become Buddha. I say, oh, I want to become Buddha this life. It's not the goal. It's a matter of whether you want to put your teachings into practice or not. Whether you get the result or not, okay lah. You know, don't push yourself too much lah. But if you don't even practice, what result you can get? Right? First, you must learn. Then after that, practice. Then once you start to realize, maybe there is a hope. Okay? Then we talk whether you want to become Buddha or not. But before even reaching that, no need to talk so much first. We just start by studying, and then we try to realize. And then we put the study into practice and see what kind of result comes out. I think that's more important. So there are 4 things actually you must do. You must study, you must practice, and you must realize. After you do all these things, then if possible, if you got time, you share. You share your experience, you share your knowledge, all right? So you just do 4 things only as a Buddhist to make sure that the Buddha Sasana is not dead. Okay? Study, practice, realize, and share. Okay. Right? So basically, this is actually a very short sutta, but the thing is that it's very, very to the point, you know. The teaching is very, very clear to the point, unlike the one in Sampurisa Sutta last week. That one can be very, very complicated one, right? But when something is to the point, it's even more hard to practice, actually. because it's like it's served in front of you. You can see so clear. Why? Then you ask yourself, how to get the result? Correct or not? So this the issue here is practice. Practice is the key. Okay. So I think basically you all can see this sutta is all about what okay. And I suggest next time if you want to study any sutta, you just take out any sutta in the Sutta Pitaka. Okay. And then you take a sutta, you read, and then you do these 5 things. First, you do the summary, you look for the context, you look for the characteristics, guidance for practice, and then the significance. You ask these 5 questions again. Every sutta you apply like that. The more you do, the better you become familiar, right? So one day when people ask you, Mangala Sutta, what is the significance? Straight away you can tell. Not only you tell the significance, you can also summarize quite quickly, and then list out all the characteristics of all the mangalas, example 36 mangalas, right? And then after that, you can also explain how to practice. Okay. So if you got this kind of skill, then I can say you are kind of like an efficient Buddhist learner. You're able to dissect the sutta. I'm passing you a skill, not just knowledge, okay, a skill. So now you have an AI bot. You can use it. You can use it to help you in your study. A lot of I got comments and feedback from quite a few people. They use Nobu to help them in their revision. Not study, revise, After study, revise some more. You get what I mean? So if they're not sure, they ask certain question in certain section of a sutta or a Buddhist teaching, right? And clarify the meaning. You can use this method also. Okay, you can use this method also. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to elaborate a bit on the last paragraph. Guidance or practice. Therefore, your duty is the contemplation. This is suffering. This is the beginning of suffering, the end of suffering. And your duty is the, down here. Your duty is the contemplation. This is the path of practice leading to the cessation of stress or suffering. Okay. Now, why did the Buddha use the word? Therefore, your duty is the contemplation. Anyone tell me why he said like that? Why did the Buddha say straight away, practice the 4 Noble Truths? Why did he start off with saying, therefore, your duty is contemplation? Can anyone explain to me why he said like that?
Brother Kuipong, can I try?
Can welcome. You're more than host now. You participant.
Why the Buddha, to me, why the Buddha say your duty is the contemplation? I said basically, for a start, when we do contemplation is to gain proper understanding about the 4 Noble Truths, because it is important to have a proper understanding and have the of these 4 Noble Truths before we can proceed further. So to me, instead of just telling us what to do, first we have to contemplate to really understand what this means and how, and to have the right view and right understanding of these 4 Noble Truths. That's my thought on this why Buddha said it's your duty to contemplate, because before I'm looking at anything, it's important to first have a right understanding. What does these 4 Noble Truths actually mean, and something like that.
Okay, sadhu. Yeah, quite close. Okay, quite close. Now, in Buddhist practice, contemplation, it means that you refer to the practice of deep reflective thinking. Deep reflective concentration and thinking particularly on spiritual matters. All right. Now you notice the Buddha never said, go practice Four Noble Truths. He says your duty is the contemplation. Contemplate, this is the arising of suffering. You get what I mean? What it means by that, that means that he's asking you, to deeply reflect that this is an arising of suffering. Okay? What it means by suffering? Reflect on it deeply. Okay? Understand this word, dukkha, what it means, right? Reflect deeply. Try to understand its meaning. Okay? Concentrate on its key point. And then maybe require to meditate deeply into this point, right? Until you fully understand this dukkha, the word. And only after you have deep reflection and deep understanding, then only you understand, oh, it's like that one. Only then you'll be able to take concrete action. Otherwise, you just treat it as a word. Oh, dukkha, okay lah. After you hear one time, okay lah, then go and eat ice cream already. You get what I mean? So we don't want like that. We don't treat it like a decoration. We want to look at it very deeply, reflect on it deeply. Okay? This is called vipassana dura. Vipassana is a word you know how to spell, vipassana. Dura, D-H-U-R-A, vipassana dura. Okay? Vipassana dura is essential for the cultivation of insight. Okay? Insight. Insight means deep wisdom. Without vipassana dura, all right, the ability to have insight on a certain thing, you will not be able to see deeply. Without ability to see deeply, you cannot understand. You will not be ready to understand the true meaning of that thing, the word dukkha. Without that deep understanding, the deep reflection, there is no wisdom. Without wisdom, you cannot move. You will not be pushed to do something to kind of like, get yourself involved into something that change your life entirely. That is why sometimes I always say to some of the monks, like the late chief, I say, hey, chief, I listen to your talk maybe 20 years, 25 years. How come nothing changed for me? I laugh. I listen again and again and again. I laugh. I try to understand. Some talks, he repeat probably 10, 20 times. I hear the same thing again and again. I think I understand, but nothing happened to me. Why? Correct or not? I'm sure you all feel the same thing also. Because we do not have this vipassana dura, the insight onto this matter. Because once you have the insight, you will be very different. Okay? You will be very different. So contemplation is not merely passive thinking. That's a key point I want to bring up. It's not passive thinking. I just think dukkha. Okay, dukkha. Okay. Dukkha means pain. Okay, pain. Right? Now I don't feel pain. But when I feel pain, maybe I understand what dukkha is. That is called passive thinking. We don't really take it seriously. We want to look at it intellectually. Right? But it does nothing to us at all in terms of moving us to take action. Nothing. We just sit here, look at it, and move on. Okay? And it happens many times to us like this again and again and again. That is why we have no progress in the path. Simply because we are in a passive thinking mode. Right? So when we say contemplation in this aspect, it means active and disciplined practice in the application of mind. We actively put our mind into action in terms of, say, maybe once we meditate, we have a stable mind, we have a calm mind, all right? We have an undisturbed mind. That mind is stable and calm. As Venerable Agachita said, his understanding of jhana is not concentration. His understanding of jhana is composure. Okay? So I told him, only you say composure, nobody else say composure, right? Then why you say like that? Then he said composure means your calmness is stable, always stable, not shaken. Okay? concentration, he thinks that it's just one point. He feels it's one point. But composure is a kind of like a continuation of stability. He said, when your mind is in that state of composure, and you use that to investigate, right? Absolute stable calmness, right? And use that state of mind to investigate phenomena, rising and falling of phenomena. Then there is a chance that you'll be able to see, oh, rising, falling, and to see it with insight, vipassana dura. Okay? So it is an active and disciplined practice aimed at purifying the mind and gaining understanding of truth. Okay. So it's not just thinking, you know, it's a whole active practice, okay, of looking at something very deep and then trying to understand it. Okay. And then once you understand, you see totally different. All right. Contemplation can take a few things lah. All right. One is, of course, you contemplate on the Dhamma. Okay. Then you can contemplate on visualization, for instance, right? And you can contemplate even on an image, for instance, a Buddha image. After that you look at it and then you try to understand it. Okay. And the contemplation here is on one word, dukkha. Okay, dukkha, and try to understand as deeply as you can. Okay, I'll give you an example. Maybe it'll help you understand what I'm talking about. Quick example, not related to this sutta one. Now, in April, I was invited to attend a conference, a Buddhist conference in India. Okay, I went and it was very efficient because the Buddhist conference was organized by the government of India. So it was very efficient. I got my visa within 2 days. Then after that, I went there. Now, during that time, the second day of the conference, we were waiting for Dalai Lama to give his talk. All right. And his keynote address was 1.5 hours, you know. And, you know, Dalai Lama, like any Dhamma teacher, very chiong hey, talk, keep on talking, you know. And his English is not very good, so he has to depend on a translator. Now, 1.5 hours of his Dhamma talk, his keynote address, I cannot really remember, no. But I know he talked a lot of Dhamma, talk about compassion, talk about wisdom, he talked about all these things. But there was one line, that caught my attention. And to you, maybe it is insignificant, okay? But when I listened to it, it just grabbed my attention. I don't know why. He said, we must appreciate and preserve the Nalanda tradition. He said like that. Not the Nalanda Institute in Sedang, Nalanda tradition. Nalanda tradition refers to a school in India in the 12th century, right? Where there was like kind of a university, and a lot of monks and nuns go there to study Dhamma. They not only study, they go and debate, discuss. They learn all kinds of things, not just Buddhism. They can learn anything, any other thing else. But they were very active in discussing Buddhist principles from different schools. So you have the Mahayana and you have the Theravada, and they start to discuss. Then Dalai Lama said, he said, Nalanda tradition is very important because without Nalanda tradition, there would not be any Tibetan Buddhism today. Because of the monks during that time, they discuss and they debate Buddhist principles and ideas. A new school was formed, Tibetan Buddhism. And the Tibetan Buddhism today preserve a lot of those Buddhist teachings, you know. Right? We don't talk about Tantra, we're talking about those Tibetan schools. They actually study deeply right? The philosophy and the principles of Dhamma. Now, these schools preserve the Buddhist teaching in its original form. Okay? So he said, we must make effort, number one, to preserve Nalanda tradition. Number two, try to bring Nalanda tradition outside of India and spread it all over the world. Okay? So that the Dhamma won't die. Now, I left that conference. I cannot remember anything except what he said about preserving Nalanda tradition and bringing Nalanda tradition outside of India. You get what I mean? Now, you must be thinking, why this brother, he go to India all the way, listen to Dalai Lama talk for 1.5 hours, and all he can remember is this Nalanda tradition. Okay? But it got stuck in my mind, the word Nalanda tradition. It got stuck. Just 2 words only, Nalanda tradition. I keep on thinking and reflecting on these 2 words, what it means. Okay? Now, this contemplation on these 2 words led me to go and discover more and more about this Nalanda tradition. I went to do research about Nalanda tradition, correct? Then I realized, I found that the monks in those days, they memorized the sutta, okay? Well, you must remember, the Nalanda tradition is about 1,000 years after Buddha passed away already, okay? The Buddhist scriptures, the Tipitaka, was not committed to writing until 450 to 500 years after the Buddha passed away. That means before that, the monks were just oral tradition. They remember what the Buddha said, and then they pass on through the oral tradition. But when the time the Nalanda tradition came, it was already in writing, all the Buddhist texts. But it was still early lah. That means they were still compiling lah. Okay. So what during the compilation, they start to argue lah. Hey, the Buddha didn't say like that. He said like that, but he didn't mean like that. Then they start arguing. Okay. So one monk will say like that, another monk say, what you mean? He never mean like that. Tell me what he mean. And then they start to purify each other's thinking by debating. Okay. Correct or not? So what happened is that with this discussion ongoing, they are able to nitpick and say, okay, you are right in 1, 2, 3, but wrong in 4, 5, 6, example. Then another monk said, I agree with you, but he was right in 1, 2, 3, 4, only wrong in 5 and 6. Like that. You see? And they started discussing and debating. And then after a while, they come to agree to disagree or come to a consensus. They say, okay, everybody agree. He's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only wrong in 6. And based on that consensus, we accept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the actual Buddha saying and put into documentation. All right. So this is the Nalanda tradition. Okay. So when I got back, then I said, how to do this sort of things, right? And I was disturbed for a few months, okay, until one German friend gave me the technology to build Nobu, the AI. Okay, then I started building the Nobu and started putting teachings into the Nobu, and now you're using it lah, right? Now Nobu would not have happened if I did not go to India, I did not listen to Dalai Lama, I don't understand what he's talking about Nalanda tradition. I go there, do passive thinking, I listen to 1.5 hours of talking, I forget everything what he said. You get what I mean? I just come back and put a report that said I went to India, I've seen the Dalai Lama. Today you will not have Nobu. Okay? But because over there, something caught my attention, I started thinking about it, I started contemplating on it, and then I started doing research on it, and then one thing led to another. And then by taking action, I come up with something. Okay? So similarly, it's like that. Something will stick with you one, you don't know. Okay? So you learn Dhamma. Not everybody will learn the same Dhamma. You learn your Dhamma your own way. But there are some words or some word of the Buddha or even other teacher, they will stick by you one. Only you understand and you appreciate the particular word. Some may say, oh, metta is my preferred word. I want to practice metta bhavana. Some will say, oh, a meditation on death example. Okay. And they keep on looking at that as a teaching point. Right? So we have to look for something to anchor on and then put meditative effort and contemplation, deep contemplation on what captures your attention. And then you put all your energy to try to understand what this particular thing means. And you try to go deep into it and find the real meaning. And then once you found, then only you realize, oh, this is what it means. Then you get the fruit. Okay? So I think that's what it means by contemplation. To put in discipline mental energy and look into one thing, look deeply, try to understand it, and then actively, discover its true meaning, and see whether it will help you change your life or not. Okay. So like for instance, this Nobu, okay, I go in and do something. After 4 months later, thousands of people are using it. You're already using it to dissect this sutta. You get what I mean? And then after a while, you share with somebody people, hey, you know what? I found a technique how to dissect sutta. You share. Then you pass the Nobu to somebody else. You don't know what you're doing, Probably you are helping out so many people without you realizing the impact that you're making. Okay? That's what it means by contemplating. All right? Therefore, your duty is the contemplation. It's actually a very, very powerful tool, powerful advice by Buddha for you to start taking action. First, you contemplate deeply first. Don't just accept. In the Kalama Sutta, what the Buddha said, do not accept what the Sutta say, do not accept what the teacher say, do not accept what your tradition say, or do not accept what your culture say, right? Accept only after you have experienced for yourself that the thing is good for you. Then you only take it up. Correct or not? So it all depend on contemplation, reflecting on whatever that you think is good and correct. You reflect on it and then you try to put into action. And that's what it means. Okay? Any other question or not?
Brother Kooi Fong,
Yes.
I read this story based on this source. The term used in the translation, it is a sheer coincidence.
Correct.
This sheer coincidence, it gives an impression like there is no karma involved. It is just like, no reason at all. It's just a coincidence. So I checked through another source, I think translation by another monk. He used unlikely. So I think even the translation also can give different impression on the reader.
Correct. Actually, I was looking at this Thanisaro Bhikkhu because now he's saying that there are a few versions of his works. These are one of the early translations. If you go up I think up in front there, you can see that. You see, this updated version is freely available at dhammatalks.org. Right now.
I use the Sutta Central. I think it's by another bhikkhu.
Yeah, there was
so he
bhikkhu.
used a different.
What did he say? The what? He used what?
It is unlikely instead of sheer coincidence.
He used the word unlikely.
Let me check. Sutta Central.
Okay, so this is one good habit you all should do. Don't just
Bhikkhu
take.
Sujato. Bhikkhu Sujato.
Yeah, Bhikkhu Sujato. Okay. What is the word they use?
Unlikely.
Unlikely. Okay. I think there is a Pali word for it. I don't know. Okay. One thing we should do is to look back into the Pali word, right? And then try to get a translation from there. But I don't want to go into all this Pali grammar. You guys are not into that level yet. You bring into there, then you're talking about grammar and all this kind of thing. Then we very nitpicking already. Okay. But the point I think here is that the unlikely, the chances of you born as a human being actually is very rare. That's what the story is all about only. Okay. I was also thinking about this point, right? Yesterday I was looking at some insect. Then I thinking, insect don't have mind like us, The five aggregates, feeling, right? I don't know what, I think it's conscious lah. but whether you got perception, maybe got the perception, the perception is very like nature. Some are very good with the eye, some very good with the ear, correct or not? It's nature given one. By talking about feeling, Vedana, maybe you can feel pain, but they can feel love or not? Maybe can, we don't know. At very low level, you know, insects.
Fear, definitely. Fear.
Fear, definitely. You try to kill an ant, run away already, correct? But in terms of the complexity of their feelings, I think much less than human. So I was looking at the insect, then I said, what are the chances of this insect becoming a human one day? You know, because they got no chance to express emotion, you know, not like we all, right? We can actually what call this, guide our mind to do good thing, then generate good karma, example, right? And then try to purify the karma, things like that. But an insect don't have this opportunity. How to get out of it? You get what I mean? That is why the Buddha said, don't go down below the human realm, because after that very hard to get out already. You know, very hard to get out, because once you go down, you don't have the chance to get out. No, maybe like in a well, you got dropped in a well. How to get out? You get what I mean, right? So once you're in the human realm and then you do not what call this, take action to improve, chances are you may drop in a level down. Okay, and then you go into this round and round cycles of existence, and you don't even know why you're in such a rut. Correct or not? Okay, so I guess this is the meaning of this rarity, right? And how we should use it to push ourselves. So one point by Sister Suchen is to look for a term in any sutta, and if you are not sure, go and find out. All right, we read the whole sutta, right? Only she said, why she use the word sheer coincidence? And then she started thinking, isn't it that our karma, you know, make us be reborn? Cannot be sheer coincidence, isn't it? Right? Then yesterday I was also asking, if this insect is so difficult to become a human, then how can he become a human one day? How? Because his chances are very limited, you know. Or is it because he let his bad karma burn away? After burn away already, then he allowed all the his good karma to accumulated good karma that pushes him to be reborn, you know, in a better realm.
Brother Fong, I think I heard about that the Buddha actually experienced all realms except one, which is the what, right? So he also being reborn as animals also.
Correct.
But somehow I heard when he's in animal realm, he actually different from the ordinary animals. This is what I heard lah. So sometimes I have this question in me also, because my families are Buddhist family. Those Buddhists lah, they already have their directions, you know, very clear. But some not. So then I also wonder if I go rebirth like that, right? It's like there's no certainty that I will be born as a human being again, or maybe I born in the Brahma, in the heaven, right? Then I don't have the chance to cultivate.
Yes.
So there is an uncertainty also lah. But because I'm not like them, I don't have a direction yet. So this is my concern also lah. Yeah. So I have to just go around. But however, I just tell myself, I only have the present moment now. So what I can do is like, I want to make mindfulness into like, instead of autopilot, right? So now replace with mindfulness. So this is what I can do so to change the habit. Another thing is about like, when we say about rare chance to be a human, right? But I think I attended one of the Dhamma talk, though I don't really understand. They talk about when you are dying, then when you see certain sign or when you see red, it's like mother's womb, something like that. Then you are going to reborn as a human being. Something I forgot already. Is in the what is that already? What is the very famous one, Sister Sujan, the one we attended? But then you didn't complete it. However, I finished the class. What's the course already? Dhamma, right?
Dhamma. It's an online course.
I think there is one of the chapters saying about when you die, right? You can see what color, something like that. Well, I don't know. Maybe you are not at that state, you don't even aware that changes lah.
So I think what this sutta basically want to tell us that the chances of the turtle head going into the hole of the ring is very slim. The chance is very slim one. The opportunity for it to happen is like 1 in 1 billion kind of chance lah. All right. So it's even worse than kena lottery. Lottery is so a better chance than doing that happening, you know. Hey, the kind of what kind of opportunity, you know. So if we are saying that if we are given that opportunity and we waste it, wow, we are quite kind of stupid, isn't it? Correct or not? So I think the Buddha is trying to tell us don't be so silly. Okay, you got this opportunity. I am telling you, I can see all this, the birth and death of many billions of human beings, not just human beings. He see it happening. You know, when after he became Buddha, he contemplated past lives and the future. Then he see this happening again and again and again. He don't see it as the individual point, but he see it as a flow, right? Because of based on karma and the transference of consciousness from one body to another body. He saw that process. Then he said, oh, human being so suffering because of this. So he said we must endeavor to get out of it, right? And he has done so. So he's telling us, okay, I know how to get out. I'm teaching you. Up to you now, right? And then he's saying that if you stay like that, nobody will follow him. But he find all ways okay, to push us to see this point, all right? So I think the word, instead of saying sheer coincidence, we can say slim chance. You can use the word slim chance, okay? Very slim. The chance of you getting a human birth is actually very slim. But if you got it already and don't do anything about it, it's called silly lah. We always assume we were reborn as a human being, you know. Do you notice or not? You talk to anyone, oh, I want to reborn into a better life as a human being. Hello, not necessary, you know. You may become a dog, you know. Okay, next time you can become a dog. Can still show love lah, but cannot talk. Right? And then being controlled by other people. Actually, good dog life also quite good actually. Right? Only enjoy life only. Eat, sleep. Let's say you get a good owner. Wow, everything given to you. No need to work. No need to do anything. Just show your love. Then can get food. And then get a good accommodation. Isn't it? Okay, anything else want to discuss this? Then we maybe have a short break. Then after that, we come back in 5 minutes. Then we complete the others. Wait, I finish off this one first. This one here. Okay, understanding your precious human rebirth. Okay, what we should do. Okay, and discuss these points here. Can we have a short break in 5 minutes? We come back. See what time now? 3:20, 3:25. Can take a short break, toilet break, or whatever. Okay, yeah. See you later. So I want to give you a trick question. Okay, this question is, what is the sutta that's similar to the Chikala Sutta? You know or not? You are allowed to use notebook. Okay, find out. What is the a sutta that is similar to the Chigala Sutta. Anyone can answer this one and score A++.
The sutta which is in front of this sutta, SN 4.50. What's
Yeah,
the name
sutta
of
is
the
that?
name? 56.47.
Oh, what's the sutta? You can just ask in Nobu or whatever. It says what sutta is similar to Chikala Sutta. Just say like that. Okay, you can find out already.
Jala Sutta. I don't know, I just start like that. I didn't read them because quite long, the answer.
What's the name of the sutta?
Jala Sutta. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it's not. I just type what is the sutta that's similar to Chigala Sutta.
Ah.
I don't know.
Sister Meili, what you found out? I cannot hear you. Unmute.
Saleka Sutta.
Huh?
Saleka Sutta
Saleka Sutta. Is it?
from Nobu.
Okay, who else? Who else find?
Javampati Sutta.
Yeah, so they are all some are more similar to Chigala Sutta and some are not so similar lah. The one I find that is closest is the thing called Bade Karata Sutta. You know the Bade Karata Sutta? Auspicious day. Okay. So the Bade Karata Sutta talks about urgency of practicing Dhamma. Urgency of practicing Dhamma. Okay. So emphasize the significance of living each day with mindfulness and clear comprehension and not wasting it. By not practicing, you're wasting your life as a human being. Okay. So they're asking you to emphasize the practice of living each day with mindfulness and clear comprehension. Okay. So when you post together Bade Karata Sutta and then the Chigala Sutta, then you put two and two together lah. One, it tells you about the rarity of human being. Then after that, once you realize that your birth is rare, what do you do? Then you go to the Bade Karata Sutta. Bade Karata Sutta says, emphasize on the practice of mindfulness and clear comprehension. Okay, so you can do things like this, right? You put two suttas together and then and look at the emphasis of their teachings, and then you draw out a plan. Okay, you draw out a plan. First, number one, regard your life as precious. Number two, once you know it is precious, what do you do with it? You live mindfully. Okay, so you're guided by two suttas, Chigala Sutta, and the second one is the Bade Karata Sutta example. And that's how you put the Dhamma into practice. Okay, and also if let's say somebody tells you, what sutta, you keep in your heart, because you already practice the teachings of these suttas and you remember the sutta by name, it's very easy to talk to people. Okay, and he says, okay, I follow the Chigala Sutta because it reminds me of my precious human life, and then I follow the Bade Karata Sutta because it asks you to be mindful. So when people hear you can quote sutta, wow, they think you're very advanced. Actually, nothing man. You only remember two sutta, but this two sutta is enough for you already. It guide your life for life. Correct or not? No need to remember a bunch of sutta. Remember suttas that you think you can use for your practice. this we launched the Nobu early Buddhist text for the Sasana Raka, a Buddhist sanctuary with Bante Agachita and Bante Ariya Damika. You know about that? You don't know, huh? So recently we actually launched this early Buddhist text, nobu-ai.org/EBT, okay, early Buddhist text. You type inside there and you see a picture of a robot, you know, holding some leaves in the hand like that, okay. And the image was generated by Venerable Ariya Damika. He says, hey, Brother Lim, this can you use this picture for the EBT robot? I say, can, it's possible. I like this picture a lot, he said. I say, why? Do you see what the robot holding in the hand? Some leaves, isn't it? I say, yeah. So in one of the sutta, the Buddha talked to Ananda. He says, he asked Ananda, he holds some leaves in his hand. Then he asked Ananda, which is more, the leaves in my hand or the leaves around whatever in this whole place that we are here? Then Ananda said, surely the leaves outside is more than the leaves in your hand. Okay. Then the Buddha said to him, the leaves in my hand is all the Dhamma that I have taught you. But this Dhamma that I've taught you, okay, is sufficient for you to escape dukkha. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what is essential. All right. So the teaching is called a handful of leaves. You heard this teaching before, a handful of leaves. Okay. So you don't have to remember all the sutta. You don't have to remember so many things in your life. If you find 2 suttas or 3 suttas and you take those suttas lessons as your practice, as your guide, is good enough. You must remember, no, everybody have a different preference on, you know. There is no one way to say that this way is the correct one. It all depend on your personality, depend on your inclination. You get what I mean? So there is no such thing as, oh, my way is the right way, you all follow. Yes, in the beginning, yes, you can do like that. But after a while, it's different already. You have your way on. Who play badminton? I played a lot of badminton when I was young. Okay? What is the basic of badminton? You just serve. And the person hit back, you hit back. Correct or not? Sometimes soft is called a drop. Sometimes smash. Sometimes very hard. Sometimes you don't play smash or you play drop, you play lob. See who got more energy. Lob here, lob there, lob here, lob there. Okay? Sometimes like to play trick shot. Right? But some people, after a while, when you start to do very well, after playing badminton for a long time, they got their own style one. Some are very good at drop shot. Keep on playing soft. Some are very good at smashing. Play the speed game. But they're all playing badminton, correct or not? But the style of the badminton totally different. One person to another person. Okay? Same with Dhamma lah. When you start off meditation, yes, breathe in, breathe out, all the same. After a while, when you start to kind of like get master of it already, you got your own style one. No one style is right all the time. No one style is wrong all the time also. The style suit the person. If you can follow the thing, it's good enough. All right? Okay, so now we finish off this lesson by going through the points that I brought up here. Can you see my Word document? Okay. These are the points that that the 9 qualities that we should strive to remember how fortunate we are. Okay. So down here it says a precious human rebirth from a Buddhist perspective is unique and valuable opportunity for growth and liberation. Okay. So we have an opportunity to learn, to study, and to practice. Right. So we got this unique situation that we can do something, right? To look at our life and how we can best make use of it. A human rebirth is considered precious because it strikes a balance between suffering and pleasure. Okay, these two is very important, suffering and pleasure, because without this black and white, we will not have the right conditions for spiritual practice. So someone, I think you read this story before, why the Buddha chose the human realm to become a Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama. Why he didn't go, he was from heaven, isn't it? To Sita heaven. Then he came down, as a human being. And then from in this realm, and the human realm, that he became a Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama. Okay. So why? Why this realm? Because number one, we are endowed with a mind. We are able to discern right and wrong, good or bad. We have the ability to discern. And more importantly, we are in a situation that we can suffer as well as enjoy. We know pain and we know joy. Okay. So this condition, without knowing black and white, we will not be able to see the whole picture, right? And this is called the right condition for spiritual practice. Okay. So there are the 9 qualities here. We should strive to remember how fortunate we are. Number one is balanced existence. Okay. Balanced existence is between this one, suffering and pleasure. Okay. There is no point, no time where you're always happy one. Correct or not? Sure, but sometimes you're unhappy. Even in the midst of happiness, sometimes you can get irritated. Correct. Right? So then you ask, when I'm happy, why suddenly this thing come? Okay? Sure, something want to come and punch at you, right? They won't give you happiness all the time. Something will come and disturb you. Then you say, why like that? Then you ask, when you say why like that, that it means an avenue to find out what went wrong. Okay?
Really, I have questions. So, because it's like you're talking about Four Noble Truths, right? The truth of sufferings, the Buddha sees that the life is there's suffering, right? But somehow when we suffer, we actually want to renounce, we want to get out of it. So we become very diligent in practice, right? But somehow I realized that what bringing me back is like the joy, the happiness, So when you experience happiness, sometimes you think that suffering is like, okay lah, never mind, still okay, because the death is not in front of me yet. It's like, let's say if I am ill, suddenly I'm declared I'm going to die in 1 week time, maybe I think differently, So that's why sometimes I find like a bit like helpless. It's like the teaching is there telling you, like the Four Noble Truths is telling you there's dukkha. But somehow the current situation here, within the knowledge, there's a gap, Of course, it's the practice that will make this gap nearer. But there's a lot of helplessness. Buddha tells you, and this joy is actually impermanent. It changes, right? But somehow the cleaning, the root into this is so deep that you see the current effort is so very little, not really helpful. So it's like, don't know how many years to go, Yeah, this is the question. Or I don't know what question or what question maybe for you all to share, like maybe to help each other, encourage each other. How is it, because this is like bothering me. It's like, I know it's dukkha when I experience it. I really be so diligent in practicing. But sometimes when life is good, okay lah, fine, still can accept this painful. I don't know. And I don't wish to like suddenly doctor declared, oh, you still left 1 month like that. I think I still resist to die. Yeah. You have anything to share, really?
Anyone want to comment on the sisters, Fanny?
We haven't seen enough suffering. That's why it's still wallowing in sensual pleasure.
There's a lot of suffering already, but it's just so difficult when it comes to cultivation. I just find it, we see a lot of suffering. It's like, even if doctor declared that I'm going to die, right? I know this is impermanent in front of me, but there's so much negative feelings arises, right? That you need to sit down with it. But somehow there is a feeling of like still resisting to die, and there's a feeling of like it's like there's the way, the Buddha shows the way. It's like the way is like still cannot perfect it. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so I get asked a question, everybody say practice Dhamma, correct or not? After practice Dhamma, you have joy, correct? Then you delight in Dhamma. Meditation, you feel light, you feel inner happiness, correct or not? You feel like some sort of a letting go. And then you have this delight in Dhamma. Now, isn't that antithesis to dukkha? Because antithesis to dukkha, that means it's like opposite of dukkha. You're supposed to practice to get out of dukkha, right? Then you practice to delight, to have delight in Dhamma, no? Delight in Dhamma is very common one because the monks
Yes,
also
even listen to the Dhamma talk is really happy. But
correct.
once you know the Dhamma is happy, you listen, right? You want to practice, you feel like, wow, so difficult. Then there's a listening
Correct,
is
no?
a joy itself. Yeah.
Correct, no? So
Yeah.
the question is delight in Dhamma antithesis to dukkha? The question is, we are asked to practice Dhamma, but Dhamma lighten us, correct or not? Make us happy, make us joyful. Because we say when we listen to Dhamma, then we know how great this Dhamma is. Then we feel like, then after that we say, okay, now we understand this, we practice. Like, and the sister Fanny is correct lah. But when we start to practice, oh, all the things coming already. Okay? All those negative things start to arise, Then you say, what happened to all the wonderful, beautiful Dhamma that I learned when I was happy when listening to it? Then when I practice, how come like mosquito bite lah, leg pain lah, everything come already? Correct or not? Okay. So this delight in Dhamma, okay, is actually the result already. When the monks say delight in Dhamma, right? They practice and they already attain some sort of release. They already actually reach that kind of state. Already reached. So they're just explaining to you the experience of that state. Like for us, many of us never meditate one. When we listen to monk, wow, really? Got such thing on, Then after that, we try to practice, ayo, very tough, okay? Because we haven't attained anything yet. We're just trying to start, okay? So these monks, or this called practice beings that already practice already, they are telling you, if you practice, this is the state you will get. But they don't tell you, before I attain this state, I suffer a lot. Okay? But if they keep on talking suffering to you, all of you run away already. No one will listen to what the monk say. Okay? Correct or not? So when you listen to monk and talk about all these wonderful states, happy state, then you say, I also want to attain that kind of state. Then you say, okay, now I motivated, I listen to him, I feel great joy. Okay? Now I go and practice. So you try, right? It's like someone come to you, your house quite messy, correct or not? Then he come on telling you, no, the beauty of a minimalized house, minimalism. Talk about beautiful walls, okay? Where the flower can be seen. If your house is cluttered, you cannot even see a pot of plant, correct or not? So when you have minimal furniture, everything is in place, everything is clear. The painting is clear, nicely poised, nicely displayed, right? Every object is clear. Every object can be seen, right? And nothing disturb anything. So when you tell people, wow, the house like that, everything can be seen, everything is clear, everything is clean, then you imagine, that house that you wish for. Wow, very good. I have inspiration. I want to get this kind of house. Then you go back to your house. The first thing, thinking how to clear all this mess. Wow, you hate it already. Where to start first? That's the first thing you ask. After asking where to start first, what to throw? Everything is precious. Don't want to throw. In the end, nothing get done. Correct or not? Then after that, okay lah, to make you feel good, you go back to that person with a beautiful house and listen to his talk again. Then start to imagine, how I wish my house like that. And then you feel good again. Then you come back home, still cannot do anything. Things will not change until you do something. Correct? So once you do something and you attain that state of mind that describe what the monk described, then that kind of joy you understand. But before that, it's very difficult. But when you do clean your house, in the beginning, it's difficult, isn't it? But the moment after you clean, one by one, little by little, and after that you attain your goal, then you realize not that difficult, but you have to start doing it. You don't start, you will never know. Okay? So when we say delight in Dhamma, it means like that. He's experiencing, he is telling you what he has experienced or she has experienced. But we have not yet done. So we only listen. Okay? So he's telling you, you want to be like that, you have to practice. But while you're practicing, you're in a mess. It's like cleaning house. While you're cleaning, in a mess one. The pail here, everything all messed up, until you sort out everything, put everything in place, then put away the pail, put away the mop, put away the broom, then only you see, oh, okay, that's how it is. Right? So do not look at the result while you're cleaning the house or while you're spring cleaning the house. While you're doing it, cannot look at the work in progress one, because the work in progress is not the result. The work in progress is actually even more confusing, right? You're doing halfway. You cannot see the result. The result is at the end of your practice, of your house cleaning. So I guess that's how I explain it.
Yeah. I think I get it. So I think, like you say, even Four Noble Truths, I listened when I was in secondary school, right? Recently, I also realized, like what you say, Buddha tell us what he realized, So listen for so many years, also like, how come I just cannot get it? It's so simple, but it's so difficult. It's so near, but yet so far. But now I understand. It's like the first three noble truths he's telling you is like that. Then you have to walk the fourth path, the fourth one, the fourth truth. Then while walking, you got in depth with the first three. The third one cannot. Third one is Nibbana. So it's like the more you see the dukkha, the more you see your craving, right? So I think this is what you say, and I need to like understand that, this is the journey. This is a journey. This is not a result. This is a journey, and this is the process. Is like that. It's always work in progress, right? I think it's the acceptance. Thank you.
Right. Because like for instance, I come and talk to you and say about jhana example. Okay, I meditate, then after that I attain states of jhana. Then if I ask you a question, what is the difference between jhana and arupas? You'll be thinking, this brother talking what? I don't understand what you're talking. Because you haven't practiced, if I talk like that, none of you will understand what I'm talking about. You get what I mean? Arupas means formless realms. Jhana means a state of calm, right? And once you attain this sort of practice, then you start to question, the kind of refinement, the state of refinements. Jhana in the form and jhana in the formless realm. What is the difference? Wow, I tell you, those are very high level already. But this kind of thing, is no point talking now if you never practice, right? I don't know how to sew and knit, I don't know. I never done it before. But let's say I come to a class, a Zoom class, and all of you talking about knitting, the method of knitting, the principle of knitting. To me, it's all theory. Okay, I watch a YouTube. Yeah, looks good, but I have not done it before. If you have done it before and you watch the YouTube, then you can compare. I think this person a bit wrong. I think not like that. No. If like that, you do a bit different. Not entirely wrong, not entirely right, but the result is different. Because it's based on experience. You see? So again, it's about practice. Okay, once you practice, then you see whether you can understand what the person is saying or not. Right? So it comes to our number 2 point, opportunity for practice. We must practice. The Dhamma is for you to practice. Okay? Without practice, there's no really understanding. Unfortunately, for Western-based religion, the Abrahamic faith, like Christian or Islam, they emphasize a lot on faith. Unlike the Eastern religion, like Taoism or even Hinduism or Buddhism, Jainism, we emphasize a lot on practice on, okay? Even in Chinese Buddhism, or even like Kung Fu, for instance, martial art. You cannot talk about martial art. You must go and practice on. Qigong, Tai Chi. Talk for what? You must do it. Sometimes it's not even, no need to read the book. You just do, practice. From practice makes perfect. Then that perfection will bring out all the power that you're supposed to have inside you. Okay? So that is why the Eastern religion emphasize a lot on practice. Sometimes human beings are very lazy. We don't want to practice. We want shortcut. Okay? We just say, okay, believe in God, then you save already. Practice for what? All you have to believe, all you do is believe, pray and believe, then count him already. Right? But we know what? Human being, we got such thing one. If like that, why don't we teach all our children? Pray to God and then believe. Sure, exam will pass. But why we keep on telling our children, must study hard lah, study a lot lah, concentrate lah, focus lah, don't get distracted lah. For human exam, we have to tell them like that. But when we come to practice or religion, we don't tell ourselves like that. Focus, practice, don't give up, right? Diligent. No. It seems like a double standard. Really, human, adult religion, believe, pray, believe, count him already. But when we come to study, oh, you must study hard, work hard, you know. So I think there's no such thing as a shortcut. We have to practice, study, practice, and then realize. Okay? Then it comes to our third point, in potential for improvement. Without practice, there cannot be any potential for improvement. Okay? I've been learning Dhamma close to 35 years, right? Sometimes I teach. Then I realize, I think forever we'll be student to me, until we are enlightened. As long as we are not enlightened, we are student. Okay? We don't say that we are teacher or advanced teacher. Doesn't matter. Enlightened or not. Not enlightened, still student. Okay? So sometimes it keeps our ego in check. Sometimes we got so much knowledge, we think we teach, then we thinking we're so great. Then some of us get too caught up with the ego, right? We want recognition, we want title. But to me, as long as you're not enlightened, you'll always be student. I don't care whether you Mahatera, doesn't matter. Whether you're Dato, Tan Sri, okay? But as long as your knowledge of Dhamma has not released you from the rounds of dukkha, we are still all learning Dhamma. Okay? So all at same level. Right? Except that whether we have learned more or less only. Those who have learned more help those who are still learning. So we must continue to do this. Then continue for mindfulness, compassion, and faith. These three things very important, right? We have to not only just be mindful, sometimes too much mindfulness make us to become very boring and sterile. Go to temple, everybody mindful. Nobody talk to one another. Okay? So this kind of thing is not very healthy, right? Because I think compassion is very important. When someone walk into the temple, must make an effort to get to know the person, encourage the person to get to know the temple, whatever. Notice temples can be very cold, Go inside there, nobody talk to you, nobody greet you, right? And you ask why everybody so cold? Oh, we are very mindful. Actually, it's actually very lousy PR. It's not mindfulness. We are not good at our PR. Good at PR means we are mindful yet compassion. Then we have to do like that. Okay. Greeting another visitor is not it's not that we are not mindful, Greeting a visitor is actually a good way to introduce a person to Dhamma. Right? So I think we have to balance our mindfulness and compassion. Okay. Faith, of course, we have to Saddha. Saddha is very important. Saddha means we have this potential, a belief that we have this potential to become a good person. If we don't have hope, then we will not do anything. Right? Okay, and then we have the three more, ability to eradicate ignorance. Since we have all this potential, we have a good mind, we have a ability to learn, then we have this chance of eradicating ignorance. Okay, and finally, these two things, potential for altruism. Altruism means to do good thing, to become better than what we can be. and ability to overcome desire. We can do all these things, provided we make an effort, and provided whether we want to or not. Okay, whether we want to or not. Okay, so I think we are close to 4 o'clock already, isn't it? No, this is the last class, so fast.
Well, I got one more question for you. I remember the first class you mentioned about change will create resistance. I remember in the first class. Can you elaborate more? Because I realized change really create resistance. So it's like sometimes I feel so lots of energy to like continue.
Yeah, I understand. Like example.
From where this thing comes about, like, why is it this resistance automatically appear? I have to tell myself, accept this resistance. That resistance arises.
This resistance is what? External or internal one? For yourself or other people?
Self. Means that when I want to, like you say, ability to do good or ability to overcome desire, right? When you want to do this, then this thing keep coming. I want to do this, then you say, I cannot, must take one more, or must what, this, when you want to change, like let's say you come to certain age, you certain food you cannot take, for example, because in the Karaniya Metta Sutta say, you want to achieve certain calm, you must be able. Able means what? You need to take care of your body. You got healthy body and healthy mind, you can cultivate, right? But when you have to practice a healthy body, sometimes you tell yourself, hey, do not continue to take this anymore. You take more. So I remember what you say in the first class, change, create resistance or something like that. Can you share more? Thank you.
It's about self-discipline. Okay, sometimes you want to change, but then sometimes you lack that inner resilience to make the change. Okay, because you are so used to what you have or what you want to do that you cannot overcome it. Okay, like for instance, you like to take sugar. Your whatever drinks you have, you put a lot of sugar inside. I remember I used to have a lot of sugar when I was young, until I married my wife. First, she reduced three spoons of the sweetened milk to 2 spoons. Okay. Then after a few months, she don't put at all, Then you see, how to drink? That was my first resistance. I said, I cannot drink. At least one. Then she said, okay, 1. Then I realized within 4 months, she reduced from 4 to 1, Okay. Then after a while, then she made me eat oats in the morning. I said, how to eat oats, in the morning without sugar? She said, try lah. Good for you one. So I tried. Then after that, after a while, you start to get used to it. Then slowly, she forget to put the 1 spoon of sugar also. Okay. Then I eat some more. Then suddenly I don't feel that I miss the sugar at all, Then after a while, no sugar at all, no sugar, and oats only. I tell you, you just have oats and Nescafe and milk without sugar, can drink. If I was young, no way I can drink, but today is my normal already, right? So you have to, number one, either gradually change, okay, and apply mindfulness. Okay? If the resistance arises, you must watch it. It says, I am resisting. Okay? And then you determine, no, it's marah kacau me, I don't care. I want to do this. Whatever you want to do, okay? Do 1 time, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time, until you get used to it. Then you will automatically change. Okay? It's up to you actually. It's how strong your mind here, the mentality inside here, how strong. Okay?
I think everyone's pattern also different. I remember when I was young, I'm a vegetarian now. When I was many years ago, I tried to change, right? I don't take meat a lot, but when I say, okay, now I want to become a total vegetarian, so cannot, then I say, choy something, still cannot. On choy something, sure, I want to cook some meat. The rest of the day, I don't cook meat, I'm fine. But when I said today, I don't want to cook meat, then I cook meat. I said, never mind, 2 days cannot. In 1 month, then I take Monday meat free. Cannot also. my style is like, sometimes it will rebound back. So on the day I want to do it, sure, I do otherwise. But one day when I read an article, right, suddenly, right, when I drop means drop. I know that the message is from my heart that I just want to stop this massive killing. You know, I just want to stop this. Enough is enough. I don't want to like turn around the rebirth in this angle anymore. I stop. There's no more thinking. Try something to hold. Monday me free also hold. It doesn't affect me anymore. No. So I think really sometimes I think it's the pattern in me that like that, you know.
Right.
But I think never mind, at least now I ask this question, I open up, I see that you are different, but I can pick up like gradually. Determination.
Yeah.
But what is important is I accept and be aware the resistance arises.
Correct.
Accept that I can't do it, you know. Then maybe do it with compassion. I think like that lah. Slowly, at least I open up and ask this question. It's like every time change, very difficult for me. I suppress, then it rebounds. I suppress, then it rebounds back.
Sometimes have to be a bit patient. Compassion to yourself is very important. Okay, compassion to yourself is also very important.
Yeah.
Sometimes don't force yourself too much, force yourself too much. But you must stick to a goal, you know. You say, okay, this may not be the time, but one day I will do it. You must have that
Yeah. That's
kind
the
of
faith, like you say.
the drive, you know, you must have. All right. Otherwise, you never get it done. Okay?
Yeah. This one very important. Thank you, really. Yeah.
Okay. So anything else? You not before we what call that? Do the transfer of merit. Can we take picture of group? I always wanted to take picture of group. How to take picture?
Yeah, I know already.
Know already. Okay.
Yeah.